Isaiah. The next 5 books make up what are referred to as the major prophets. These books comprise almost 1/5 of the entire Old Testament. They are Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, and Daniel. The book of Isaiah contains some of the most well-known prophecies concerning the coming of a Messiah, or an anointed one, in all the Bible. Behold, a virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and she will call his name Emmanuel. These words and those of Handel's Messiah, sung every Christmas, are Isaiah's words. Unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and he shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Isaiah was a prophet who wrote between 740 and 680 BC. He lived among royalty and gave advice concerning foreign affairs, speaking God's words. The northern tribes of Israel had turned their backs on following God and were captured by the Assyrians in the north during Isaiah's days. Isaiah's primary message to Judah, the southern kingdom, was that similar judgment would fall upon them unless they changed their ways. The kings of Judah kept looking to other countries for protection, or kept copying the idolatrous worship practices of neighboring countries and ceased worshiping God. The chosen people of God were turning their backs on Him. The first half of Isaiah, chapters 1 through 39, contain the denunciations and woes against Judah and other nations. Included are prophecies of the end times, the last days of earth. Isaiah's own call as a prophet is recorded in chapter 6, in which his vision of God on his throne being worshipped day and night by angels is astounding. Here is our first glimpse of what goes on in heaven as the angels constantly say to one another about God, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of His glory." In Hebrew, repeating something twice was a common way to emphasize a word, but to repeat it 3 times, as in holy, 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 meant that God isn't just holy, or even holy, holy. Our God, the God of the universe, is holy, holy, holy. And as Isaiah looked on and listened on in this scene of worship, he heard God ask, "Whom shall I send? Who will go for us?" And Isaiah answered, "Here I am, send me." And God gave Isaiah the words to speak to his people right there on the spot. The second half of the book of Isaiah, chapters 40 through 66, are a consolation. The first word in Isaiah 40, verse 1, is comfort. The greatness of God, the comfort of God, and restoration by God fill the pages. In chapters 49 through 57, the salvation of all people by a suffering servant is proclaimed and promised. The promise of a conquering and reigning king, a priest and a prophet, had long been anticipated. The victorious, chosen, anointed one, the Messiah, called forth thoughts of triumph and patriotism for Israel. But there was another side of the Messiah spoken of by Isaiah, and that was that he would also come as a suffering servant, in whom was the salvation of all mankind, who bore the sin of mankind and the punishment. Isaiah 53 says, "He was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned every one to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all." Here is the key. Here is the heart of God and the heart of His Bible. God's love for us is so great that He sent His chosen Son to suffer and die, that we may live with Him now and forever. His shed blood paid the price of your sin and mine. We are forgiven because He was wounded for our transgressions, and by His stripes we are healed. This is God's story for Israel, a chosen people from whom would come the Savior of the world, a suffering servant giving his life to restore the relationship between mankind and God that had been broken in the Garden of Eden, a good shepherd who will tend his flock and gather his lambs into his arms. The promise of a peaceful kingdom and a 1,000-year reign of the Messiah fills the final pages of the book of Isaiah. God will restore his people and establish his kingdom with judgment and with justice, and it will be glorious.